Hello! Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Legends Helpline. My name is Beaky. How may I assist you today? Oh, you just recently started playing Legends, you're level 16 and you need some help with deck building? Oh, don't you worry. What type of deck do you need help with today? A budget-friendly werewolf deck, as you've already used up all your gold and no more soul gems at the moment? Well, don't you worry. We at the Helpline are here to help. We'll do 3 things for you today, completely free. 1. Share extremely budget-friendly werewolf deck that will help you enhance and grow as you play the game. 2. Explain some best practices for getting soul gems, packs, and gold early on in the game. And 3. Most important, do an in-depth overview of 3 different matches with this deck in rank and casual play, showing you how to best play this deck. Hopefully all these tips and this deck will help you in your gameplay needs. Thank you for calling the Helpline. Let's get right into it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, it's Beaky to the Elder Scrolls Legends Helpline. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me, especially Banesaw and everybody else who's been adding me in the community over the last day and weeks. So many of you guys are new to Legends and are asking me questions and challenging me to matches. I just got this friend request a few seconds ago. It's so good to see you guys interacting with each other, chatting with me. It's really darn great. It just really is. Shout out to Justin Larson. You guys all know who that is. OG just added me from Twitch, and you guys keep on asking me really interesting questions. And Banesaw wants to know, how does he make a werewolf deck? He's low rank, just started playing the game, and he kind of messed up on using his soul gems and gold. He's ran out of both, but he still wants to make this type of deck. What can he do with common cards? Because he has most of the common cards needed for werewolves and a lot of the common cards in endurance and in strength, basically. So let's get into it. So first of all, guys, this is going to be a 2-part video. The first part of the video will be showcasing the deck. The second part will actually be in game. We're going to be looking at some ranked matches and some casual matches featuring this very cheap deck to build. So let's get into the deck first of all. This deck is called the WereWolves Within. Call it whatever you like. It has 36 creatures, 8 actions, 6 items. It's divided mostly 50-50 into strength and endurance. Has some neutral creatures and 11 prophecies. Very important. The curve here is very early game. You're going to be trying to win the match between turn 7 and turn 10. You're not going to be trying to go turn 12. You want to try to win as fast as possible, if possible. It's an aggro deck here, guys. So here we go, guys. Let's take a look. What makes this deck so special is the cost of soul summon it. If you had to do this whole entire deck from scratch, it would only cost 3,000 soul gems, which might sound like a lot for newcomers to the game, but odds are you will have a lot of these cards very early in the game. And we're going to go over every single card, how I see them work together, and why they're in this deck. And I just want to do a big point out, because Banesaw says he personally does not have the Dark Brotherhood expansion, so that means that he might not have a card like Dark Guardian. And I do want to make some adjustments for anybody out there who are newcomers who don't actually have these new cards for the expansions because they're just new to the game. So if you don't have Dark Guardian, which is part of the Dark Brotherhood card, which is the only one in the deck, you can replace Dark Guardian with a card like right here, the Shield. Just be noted, this is a rare card, so it's going to cost you a little bit more to soul summon, but Dark Guardian is a common. So if you can get Dark Guardian, I would highly recommend it be in this deck, because this is the way I have the deck set up and it's the way it currently works. This is a deck I think you really should work towards, Banesaw, because you wanted to make an item-based werewolf deck with the cards you currently have, and a lot of these cards I know you do have, so I wanted to build around that into something that was more workable for you, but at the same time very budget friendly for everybody else out there. So let's get into the actual way the deck works. So you have rapid shots, which is obviously ways to destroy some early creatures on your opponent's side or gain cards. You want to always have a few cards in your hand. And you're also going to want to use this card right here to either attack face or destroy creatures as well. It can help you break a rune to combo into her right here to break her, break a rune, turn her into a werewolf, or same thing with any other werewolf creature. Same thing right here. That's the point of this card right here. You're going to hurt yourself. It's a risk, but you might as well break your own prophecy at the same time and get her as a prophecy. And then you have 11 prophecy cards in this deck that might combo well together. So breaking your own rune could give your own prophecies. Now, Enchanted Plate, which you guys will see in the gameplay real soon, is super important in this game. Yes, a lot of items a lot of players use are very attack heavy, but you want to actually keep your creatures alive on the field. There is no point in having items in your deck if you have a creature in the field that instantly die. This was something that Banesaw was trying to ask me for help with, because he wanted to play with items, but his creatures would get put out there and they would die immediately. A creature like this who has 2/2 is not going to be able to survive long enough for you to get your really strong and powerful items. So if you're trying to play with an item like, let's say, let's write items in here real quick. This is just really for the newcomers out there. So like, you could make a deck and you're gonna want to be like, oh, I'm gonna equip the the dwarven Dwemer armor on like this creature right here, but that creature has to be able to stay on the field long enough for that to happen. I think it's a better option to have werewolves power up on their own and equip them with Enchanted Plate, keep them alive, keep them on the field attacking aggro, and then get to draw a card. That's the combo there. Lurking Mommy. This is one of the cards you always want to actually have early game in your hand. You guys will see why when we get into the gameplay. Even though it's the prophecy card, you're going to want to keep this as one of the cards early game, because it's a good card to go run face and make your opponent get baited into using lightning bolts and other cards to get rid of it while your other creatures stay alive. Alright. The Mudcrab Anklesnapper. This card is OP. This card is absolutely great in a deck like this. This card is so useful, and I'm glad to actually be able to play with Mudcrabs and they're actually working out. So I think this card is essential for this deck, and you guys will see why in the video as well. Really some good plays with this thing right here. Alright, Rihad Horseman. Once again, this card is more of a bait card. It's not necessarily something you're going to win the game with in most cases, but because there are so many items in this deck, being that there is, as you guys will see, 6, and I'm saying that's so many, but it's still enough to make things work, because these decks and the items are pretty low cost, that if you get it equipped, it really could help you out. And your opponent will try to use lightning bolts, piercing javelin to get rid of this creature. This is a bait creature. You know your opponent's going to get rid of it. This is how people who play Legends are trained. They're trained to get rid of certain cards, and this is usually one of them before its effect goes into effect. But most people right now are not trained right away to get rid of werewolves, which they will very soon. So you could make your opponent waste all their lightning bolts, executes and stuff like that on a creature like this, while you'll still be able to keep some of your werewolves in the background. So let's keep moving on from there. Shieldbreaker, essential. If you need an item, this is the item. You guys will see why. This is a game winner. This is a game changer in strength. It's a common card that's an item that gives 2/2 and it destroys your opponent's guards. This could win you the game at the end of a match. This is one of the biggest things for rush decks. They need a way to remove guards, and a lot of the ways people have done it in the past is by using a card called Intimidate, which many longtime players will know right here. But this is an action, and sometimes you don't want to run actions like this that give you no instant value when you draw them in a deck similar like this. But this right here will power up a creature enough to actually go ahead and remove a guard and attack for win. If you combo this with the Horseman, that's a great combo on turn 4. You can remove a guard and even do some massive damage, enough to break a rune to get your creatures to power up. Let's keep going on from there. Soul Tear. Soul Tear is super obvious. You take a monster back from the graveyard. The reason for this, and some people might disagree with me, it works. It simply works. I think it's the most powerful freaking shout in the game right now. This one is top tier shout for me, guys. You 2 costs, get a creature back, and for me, the creatures I usually want to get back is either Dark Guardian or the Keeper. Being able to get back Keeper, then hit the face, and maybe really work out with you. Because a lot of times your opponent won't expect that extra 2 damage and boost. Usually you don't want to get back your werewolves if you don't need to, because they'll be already transformed, but if you want to get back a powerful werewolf, you can do that. Now we'll show you guys examples of that real soon. Okay, Wind Keeper Spellsword. This one you want to use as well as a way to keep a monster on the field to hit to face early game without your opponent being able to get rid of it with their own monster. It's a good early card to keep in your hand. So the overall strategy here is usually keep 2 non-werewolf monster on your first hand. So you would like to keep Wind Keeper Spellsword and like Lurking Mommy, and then you would want to have something like right here, him in your hand. So like that would be a good combo, that once you're ready to break the rune, his effect would activate, or any other werewolves in the deck. Moving on from there, right here, obviously he's a werewolf. He power ups other werewolves when he's on the field. Great combo card. Only have 2 of them. Once again, why? It needs to be a cheap deck. Some of you guys out there don't have enough to have 3. And I think 2 is enough because you can't guarantee that you'll have other werewolves on the field. And it's been working with just 2 in this deck either ways. Crush and Blow. Some people might not agree with me having this card in this deck and only 2 of them, but for me, sometimes you just need that extra bit of damage. If there is a guard in your way as well, you don't have your item to remove it, because guards are very big in play right now, as some of you guys will know. There's a lot of really powerful guard decks out there. Stuff like this will really be able to help you out. Removing creatures or hitting right to face to win the game. You guys will see this in play very soon. Dark Guardian, another card, great guard. You put this guard up, you give it an item, it's able to survive. As long as it doesn't get hit with an executor or some other thing that destroys it instantly, it's going to stand there protecting your werewolves. Might even let your werewolves live long enough to actually get transformed. Moving on, another werewolf. It has Drain. This is what I would actually consider the bait card. 99% of the time, you're not trying to come back. You're not going to be trying to make a long run comeback by draining health and hoping that you can survive longer. This is just that extra health if you need it, and it's a creature that you could be pretty sure that your opponent's going to use their piercing javelins and thunderbolts on to get rid of, while some of your other more powerful werewolves might survive. Really cool situation like that. I've seen people lightning bolt this instead of lightning bolt this, so it's just like it works out there. Keeper, obvious. This is one of those cards, like I say, you're going to want to probably take back from the graveyard to reuse his effect to power up creatures. And then right here, great card. Guard, regenerate, +2/2. A lot of people don't kill this card right away, but here is where the win factor comes in. This is why you guys will like this deck if you're early game and you just have no other options. If you get this on the field and you get up to turn 7 and the match is lasted long enough and you pop out this combo, you give 2/2 to this, you are dangerous. You're now an 8 powered creature and you're hitting straight to face. It's a massive amount of damage. So all this combos together to make one heck of a deck. Trust me guys, it looks very simple. Yes, it does not have legendaries. Yes, it does not have epics. It still works, and that's what I love about Legends. You can put together a good common deck that you could even be viable in early matches right now. And remember guys, the videos that I'm about to show you right now is me playing with my account on rank 5. This is not even somebody who's playing at rank 10, rank 12 like Banesaw will be, and especially for the newcomers out there. When you're playing with a deck like this, you're going to be facing against other players who obviously don't have every legendary in the game or 3 copies of every card. But before we leave guys, let's talk about how do you advance a deck like this. So it's very common right now, and you're going to want to add more wolves as you level up. Now, if you want to go long format, this is a card you definitely could add in the deck. This is a card that many people will want to have, and you could buy the pre-made deck around this, right? So a lot of you guys, I already said I was going to let you guys know at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you guys how to get soul gems, card packs, all that. I'm going to explain everything, but if you buy the pre-made deck and you have her, great. But if you don't, this is what we're going to be working with right here. I'm very much just answering the question directly from Banesaw instead of talking about that. I know that some people will already have this. If you have it, great. If you don't have it, it's fine. And there's lots of werewolves in this game, and I know that some people have werewolves like these and they're working it together, but there's a lot of different cards you can add in here to power them up. Unstoppable Rage, you might want to go with that combo. There's a lot of different things you could go. I'm just going to recommend you guys get this support right here eventually. Right here, Skyforge. It's a 3-card support and it powers stuff up pretty damn good. It powers up your werewolves pretty good. So if you could afford a legendary, this is something you might want to add. Another card you guys might want to add is Gladiator Arena. I think it's a little too risky, but it could work for you breaking runes, but it's a little too risky. I would prefer something like Stormcloak Camp. You could try this card in there as well. There's a lot of different options. There's even stuff like Skirmisher Elixir to give you breakthrough, so you could hit through and break runes that way. There's a lot of different ways you go make this deck work. It's just how you want to build on it. But right now for today, we're going to start definitely about early game, and even stuff like Shadow Priestess is something I would recommend. And if you don't want to spend for Shadow Priestess, you also could go for removal. I would also highly recommend Earthbound Spinner. So Earthbound Spinner is another way. Now, my optimal way to make this deck is something that's out of the norm. So this is just my recommendation. This is what I would build towards overall. So once you have enough soul gems and everything, guys, I say go with the cultist version of this deck. Take out all the rapid shots, take out all the actions like rapid shot and soul tear and crushing blow. There you go. Take out all those actions in this deck. Add cultist. Why you want cultist? If you get cultist on the field at the right moment, it makes it harder for your opponents to use their actions like lightning bolts, pierce and javelin. Having a pure creature deck and action item deck could really work for this, guys. With that support, it could work. So that's where I'm going to be building up for next, guys. That's my recommendation to some of those new players. If you could get cultists early game, a lot of the early players will not be able to counter cultists, and I really want to highly suggest early players start thinking about making decks without actions. It makes you a better player as well. If you can make a good deck without any actions, you probably can make a great deck with actions. So if you could incorporate cultists, 3 copies of them in your deck, it'll be a real big win. Don't even bother if you only have 1. You're definitely going to need more than 1, guys, because people are going to remove it right away. Alright, with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some gameplay and actually discuss what this deck has to offer. Alright, so here we go, guys. Here is a rank match.
Don't worry.
So we did definitely keep Lurking Crocodile. Like, I really do suggest you guys always do this. Oh, I do want to apologize about one thing, ladies and gentlemen. I just realized that this video is at 720p. It should have been at 1080p. I have no clue when this changed to 720p. I do want to apologize for that. But hey, PewDiePie, the biggest YouTuber in the world, uploads their videos at 720p. 720p, 60 FPS. Why did I do that? Big mistake on my part. Sorry. But anyways, alright, so here we go. My opponent has a creature that gets shackled every single time it attacks. I didn't have to put down the circle initiate right there, but it gave away what kind of deck I was building up. Obviously, that's why he put down the guard, but I kind of wanted that. I wanted, in ranked play, you got to play with your opponent's mind. You want them to either be on the defensive or be on the offensive. I wanted to be on the offensive early game. Early game with a deck like this, I want my opponent to know that I'm going aggro, I'm going hard. So in the left lane over here, I'm going to break the rune. She's going to power up on the right side, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit right here. Now, Enchanted Plate, this is once again, this is where you're going to have to play smart. It could put the Enchanted Plate on the left side, keeping the werewolf alive. Now, my opponent probably would think like, oh yeah, he wants to keep his werewolf alive because of the fact that the other werewolves cards synchronize and I'll get to power them up. But I think that's a bad move right here. Remember to keep those creatures that your opponent doesn't want to waste time on alive as well. So like by keeping the 3-4 alive right now, you have more chance to hit on the left lane. People are obviously going to want to play in the right lane because that's a shadow lane. So I always try to keep some monster alive in the left lane because people don't block that as much because people just love playing in the right lane. It's just the way people have come to play this game. So we're going to hit for 3 in the left lane, and we're going to lose the creature in the right lane. Sucks. It definitely does suck, but so be it. Like I said, so be it. We lose to 1 werewolves, we have another one in hand. We're going to put the Anklesnapper Mudcrab in the right lane, and we're going to enhance that with the Enchanted Plate. And that Mudcrab is going to become a problem. I don't know, I just laugh because mudcrabs are a thing in this game, guys. Mudcrabs are a thing. Now, my opponent weakens my monster in the left lane. Not a bad move. Now I'm going to be able to put down Circle Initiate in the right lane. Put down the other one that powers up werewolves in the right lane. Now I get double benefit. And this is something to note, guys. When they get sent to the graveyard, if you have to use Soul Tear to bring them back, remember, they come back as the fully formed werewolves. They do not come back as the weak version. So that's really awesome right there, guys. If they get killed as werewolves, they come back as werewolves. So my opponent goes ahead and puts down a guard in the right lane. We can do this. Decent move. And then it looks like he's playing dragon, obviously. So putting the creature to combo with the dragon makes sense. And here's where I did a little taunt right there, guys. And some of you guys might, why did I do the little, like, you know, I'm winning the match. I like playing a little, I think the taunting system, I think It's just little things playing with the opponent's head, messes them up, maybe think that you're doing worse than you are or better than you are, depending on what you say. It's just how I play the game.
My arrows shall fly true.
So here we go. Remove the guard. So that's another reason she's in the deck. And in Prophecy. My opponent gets a Prophecy right here. Because I broke a rune, I get a free card. Midnight Snack. Obviously, my opponent is playing a dragon deck, so that's going to make the dragon easier to summon right now. Remember, in the first move the second move my opponent did, they made the creature a guard. What creature? The big old regenerating dragon. But if you obviously see, I have more than enough damage to take out that dragon. Unless my opponent was playing Dawn's Wrath at this point, like in a control fashion, I don't think they would have been able to wipe out my whole entire stuff right there. And I had Soul Tear to summon back the monster, and I had Windkeeper Spellsword as well to play. So I have a whole lot of options. So that was the first ranked match right there. Really good match, really fun. You guys see the deck in action right there, right? So let's keep on going. And you know what? This time we will go ahead and put the deck up on screen for anybody who doesn't remember what's in the deck. So let's pause real quick. And if you guys give me one moment, I am just going to go ahead and put the deck on screen for you guys to see now. Alright, there it is. There is the deck. And here is the video. Right back at it. So for anybody who doesn't want to see the rest of this gameplay, because there's a few different matches, and I really do highly recommend Banesaw and anybody interested in making a deck like this to watch all these videos. The reason for this, guys, these videos really show different possibilities, or just the consistency of the deck. And that's one thing I wanted to be very sure to make a deck like this. This is why this doesn't have that many different amount of cards. You want it to be very consistent, and you're doing kind of similar things game to game, but you do have definitely options. So once again, I played Lurkin Crocodile early in the match because, like I said, that's the card I like to keep in my hand if I have it. Yes, it is a Prophecy, but it's one of the best cards to play out early because Piercing Javelins and stuff like that are the cards that people are going to use, well, try to target that card with. So let's keep on going right there. We got the Mudcrab in the left lane. Every time I say Mudcrab, it's just funny because I'm playing a freaking Mudcrab. That's just crazy. So Fortune favored me, once again, a little bit mind tricks at my opponent. He's playing with a item deck right now, so I'm nervous because there's a new card that powers up items. So Swordsmith. So we're wondering if I'm going to be able to see that card in this match. So we have Gardener's Sword here, so he has to play a monster, play an item to get the most value out of Gardener's Sword. So I thought I was doing pretty well right here with everything I had, but there we had Battle Mage and then Battle Mage into an item, boom. Now he has a 5/8. Really looks bad for me. This deck doesn't have much removal. How do I take care of a situation like this? Well, let's keep on watching and see how this match goes. Remember, at this point, we already still have plenty of health compared to my opponent, and I draw a Soul Tear, which is definitely good if I want to take anything back from the graveyard. Remember, if that werewolf dies, we could take it back from the graveyard at the drain factor, so we could definitely be able to use that as well. So we have Enchanted Plate, but we don't play that. We're going to play into the left lane Dark Guardian, and the obvious reason why I play the Dark Guardian, for anybody who doesn't know, is if I do break another rune and he gets a Prophecy, at least I get another card in my hand, and that's more options. The more options, the better. And as this deck is not running, can't run something like Execute, I was pretty sure that Dark Guardian would be able to live. And if my opponent goes and powers up his cards or his items at this point, I think it was pretty much safe as his monsters were in the right lane. I just personally thought that. And if he used something like Icy Winds, you know, Icy Storms I think it actually is called, he wouldn't be able to kill my Dark Guardian, but he would actually kill his own Gardener Swords at this point. But it was only turn 5. So once again, he makes a freaking very annoying strong guard. And I'm like, guards on both sides, that's really annoying. That is why we have cards like Shield-Breaker. That's what Shield-Breaker is for in this deck. But it looks pretty bad for us because now we have 2 powerful guards on both sides of the field, except for he just killed one of his own. And we have to get through these guards to win this match. So here we go. We're going to use Rapid Shot on the left side. We're going to use Keeper on the right side. I look through my graveyard just to see what I have in there in case for soul tier.
Nothing through.
Then we're gonna go use Enchanted Plate to keep my Krabby alive, my Mudcrab. Keeping the Mudcrab on the field, that's a pretty strong creature you still have up, and we still got Dark Guardian. Unfortunately, we didn't get any value out of Dark Guardian at all, but in a sense, like, he didn't break a rune and get a prophecy, but my Dark Guardian was silenced anyway. So it worked out all those sense in the way, and we still got a creature that's 2 and 5, which we could power up with items. And now on the right side, if he wants to keep guarding the sword without getting any damages, he's going to have to remove that creature.
Fortune favor me.
Once again, I say fortune favor me. It's not something I'm doing because I'm really worried. It's just like, you know, let my opponent think maybe he really doesn't have that great cards right now. Maybe he doesn't have what it takes to win. But obviously, I really feel like I do. It depends, and remember guys, this all depends on how you play. You have to be able to risk putting cards in the left lane, not putting cards in the shadow lane. That's a way I play the game, but some people might not want to play like that. I really could understand that. So here we go. Uses Gardener's Sword to kill my Gatekeeper. Remember, I have Soul Tier. Soul Tier will let me get back Gatekeeper immediately if I want to. That's why I'm paying attention to my discard pile. And this is something I absolutely love because I used to be a big Yu-Gi-Oh player. I used to actually host tournaments for Yu-Gi-Oh. Used to get, I think I have a YouTube video somewhere of me opening crates of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like crates. If you guys don't know what crates are, like the big freaking thing, the things that get sold to stores and stuff like that, distributors, all that stuff. Tons of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I went through tons, like to the point where like if you guys ever seen like Yu-Gi-Oh videos where what's going on, the tournaments, we hold tournaments, but so what else I'll say? Whatever, forget Yu-Gi-Oh. To the point that there was just tons of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's tons of them. Went through them, took out the real ones, and sold the real ones on eBay. Then kept some in the store, and then sold those to the local customers who came back and bought them. And this was not even like say 10 years ago. This was like 3-4 years ago. So yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was still pretty popular, man. Yu-Gi-Oh was still pretty popular a few years ago. So here we go. Gardener's Sword has 6/3. Of course, you could attack for face. This is the problem with Gardener's Sword. You could power it up to keep. A lot of it's based around keeping this one card alive. And if it works, it works. Like it can get really powerful really quickly, but it has to work. It just has to work. If it doesn't work, you're completely screwed. And now he finally had to sacrifice it, which I'm sure really sucked because I'm sure he has plenty of items in his deck. So here's an interesting thing, guys. When I was saying about items decks earlier, if you're making a deck based around items, you have to be able to keep the monsters alive. If you only have one monster on the field to use these items, it might not work out. So that's something I always hate about item decks if you play incorrectly. Without monsters to put those items are completely useless. So always think about giving defensive items. They're as important as offensive items. As important. So here we go. We're going to use a Soul Tier combo. I was really thinking about, man, should I keep the Krabby alive? But I'm like, nah, I think it's perfectly fine to get rid of it. That's why I kept on looking. I was just like, no, I could soul back into the Krabby, but I'm like, I don't think it's correct. So, there. So I use a shout, get Gatekeeper back. Split lanes is another pretty straightforward one of my classic strategies. I like the divide and conquer strategy. Keep the Scout in my hand, the Sharpshooter Scout. The reason for this, guys, I like having options. Your opponent will take advantage of you the minute they see you have no cards in your hand. If you keep a card in your hand, that even might tell the opponent that he has something to kill me in the next turn, and they might just forfeit the game early, even when I'm not guaranteed to win. Because even at this moment right now, if you play the guards in both lanes, I really would not have a chance to be able to say guaranteed I could win the match. Had a high probability with stuff like Crush and Blow and a lot of other cards in my deck, but by keeping the Scout in my hand, I'm pretty sure that what gave me the victory and actually convinced him to forfeit. If I would have played the Scout, I think they would have probably kept the match going and thinking like, okay, if I play guard here, guard there, that's it. But sometimes you want to, like I said, play with your opponent's head, and keeping a card in your hand is just a smart move. Just smart move. Even when it really feels like a dire struggle not to do it. So there we go, and we got Barter, which was pretty cool. which is a Heroes of Skyrim card. Haven't even tried that one yet in a deck, so I haven't even got a chance to try that one out. So let's get into another match right here, guys. So here we go. So this match is for anybody out there who wants to see
Don't worry.
Shieldbreaker in action. So wait, I think this is this the, let me see. I might have played the wrong one for you guys in a second. Let's see. Yeah, I played the wrong one. Alright, we'll do this match first, and then I will bring up the video after this. This is another match. It's still interesting, don't worry. We'll save the Shieldbreaker match for last, and trust me, it will be worth it. Trust me, it will be worth it. Yeah, we'll save that one for last. So once again, if you guys look at my starting hand, Lurking Mommy. Really great card. There we go. I just added the Shieldbreaker video to the playlist. It's such a great card. I played in a lot of my ranked decks. It seems, you know, I never really teared that card out, and I don't know what people think about its tear, but as a Prophecy 3/2, it's become very valuable to me. Super valuable. It's amazing how much I use this card. It really is. Now, I'm glad I actually played this video, because this is a situation, if I remember correctly, we will see in a moment, if this is the match where I think I just bait my opponent. Yeah, this is it. This is where you have to play the match like in a way that you don't tell your opponent what you have. By passing my turn right here and not giving him the shield break, not using the shield, not doing anything, I make my opponent think that, okay, he probably doesn't have shit. Then he plays a master swordsmith. Instead of killing my creature, he goes to face. He might be thinking right now, maybe I'm playing on a curve to have more health. But he doesn't realize that I'm playing with werewolves. It was a risk, and he made a mistake. That was, to me, that was a misplay. He should have killed my creatures, but he wanted to keep his creatures alive. Which is something I do a lot of times, but you gotta be thinking about these things in the new meta of the game, alright? So obviously now he has to kill Lurking Mommy. So, misplay on his part, but a smart play on my part because I didn't put no creatures out there. I made it seem like I don't have options, but I had options. I just didn't feel like it was time for me to put those options out to play. Now, here's where your opponent wants to really, 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 seriously wants me to die. Like, he wants to kill these creatures. Because if these creatures stay alive, Master of Swordsmith I'm gonna kill the Master Swordsmith on the next turn, and guess what? He's not gonna get that effect. So he wants to equip his his monsters with items or play more monsters, but he has to do removal. Their only removal that would work at this point is Lightning Bolt. That's just forcing your opponent's hand. This is stuff you gotta think about in the meta as well, because now you know what your opponent has to do. If he wants to keep his card, he has to use Lightning Bolt. There is no other card in the game that would remove my werewolf other than something like Cast Out, which just returns it back to my hand, but he doesn't kill it.
Do your work.
So he does what I expected him to do. He kills my creature, keeping his Master Swordsmith, trying to get those items powered up. Now, obviously, the right move for me to do now is Crushing Blow, and that gets rid of that creature. Then I use Soul Tear, and get back my wolf at 4/4. So there you go, guys. This is a very interesting match. And just for fun, guys, because I was playing with such a common deck, I put my title to the Forgotten Hero, the very first title in the game.
May the forebears guide me.
May the forebears guide me. I wasn't too sure why he passed right there. By assumption, now this is once again, you have to play the meta. You have to know what cards are in the game. And I know that's something the big beginning players might have a little bit of struggle with, right? But you just have to take your options. I was thinking that my opponent might be using Icy Winds. Stop, I keep saying winds, but Icy Storms. That's the one, if I am remembering correctly. Let me actually check the... I'm always bad with the card names. That's why I say I'm not a professional in this game. Just somebody who plays too much and has a lot of experience. Yeah, Ice Storm. I say Icy Storm. Ice Storm and the Winter's Grass. I always mix those two up. So at that moment, I was thinking that he was going to use Icy Storm maybe, or he could have did. I was thinking that as well. That's why the Divide and Conquer. So only one of my creatures got hurt in that situation. This I was not expecting. I was not expecting to make this Encumbrance. Always a great card. I really was not seeing that coming. I will truthfully say that. That is something you're going to have to be dealing with. If you're facing a golf against a Shackle deck, it will very much counter this deck. The decks you're going to have to be worried about with this deck are mage control decks and things that are going to stop you from attacking like Shackle decks. Anything with like that is super annoying, and monk guard decks. Those things are going to be super annoying for you guys. Decks that you might do pretty well on is other decks that go to face. Any deck that tries to be really rush as well might work out well for you. With 11 prophecies in your deck, you might be doing pretty well. Here we go, guys. Pretty good epic card taking me out fairly well. My opponent played very well right there with the Earthbound Spinner. This is something I would definitely say that if you could have something like that in a deck like this, it really would help you for removing and stopping dangerous creatures. So he made my, well, I wanted it to be a very powerful 4/7 down into a 4/3. And it seems like he's about to go pretty ham and stack his right lane. But if he keeps putting monsters in the right lane, guess what? My crab still just sits there alone in the left lane while I have items in my hand.
I'll kill you where you stand.
So my opponent keeps on playing into the right lane, leaving my crab alone. This is why, like I said, I like keeping the divide and conquer mentality. I keep on dividing everybody like this. It could work out. So here we go. So this is what I was thinking about. What would be the best way to
take advantage of the rune that I was about to break?
And I decided,
we die together.
I am ready to join the circle.
Play the left lane. And you guys might be wondering, why did I power up the crab? Well, once again, I'm thinking of Ice Storm. If he uses Ice Storm, the crab would survive, and the werewolf would survive. He would need to use an Ice Storm Firebolt combo to get rid of one other creature, but I would be able to keep two creatures without the Firebolt, unless he has two Firebolts along with that. And so far, he hasn't used Firebolts, so
Fortune favor me.
that time I was serious about the fortune favoring me, because when I saw that, I was like, oh, please no prophecy right now. And if he would have used Ice Storm, he would have killed one of his own creatures at the same exact time. So that really worked out well for me. And once again, my opponent is playing into the right lane, trying to power himself up and try to go to face. Don't blame him for doing this. But if you see my deck is definitely a face deck, me personally, I would have told my opponent to, go ahead and start playing monsters in the left lane. There's nothing wrong about playing in the shadow lane. Play that field lane, guys. Play that field lane. Sure, he didn't see this coming, but that's the whole point of this combo. There we go. And as I've said before, ladies and gentlemen, you want this deck to win between... I just did that to show you guys. That's what I usually do stuff like that. I did that one turn 8. Turn 8. So there you go. Between turn 7 and turn 10, you're gonna win. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead to another video. And here's the last video for today, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we show off the greatness of Shieldbreaker. Shieldbreaker wins this game. So, not all games are going to go flawless with this deck. Now, I will tell you guys, please just listen to me. This is me playing the deck. I could have been lucky. I've not lost yet with this deck. Not lost. Not lost. Just haven't. Just have not. This is an early game. Now, I've not played 100 games. I've only played a few games. But so far, the games I've played, I have won. That's just how it is. Could have got lucky. Could have played against people who are low level. I don't know. I really don't know. It's the start of a new season. A lot of people might have got to rank 5 last month. A lot of people might be playing casuals right now. But so far, just initially haven't lost. So we see in the left lane, we see the big old armor guy. Dangerous cards give everybody more defense. Smart card to play. but we do know we have Shieldbreakers in this deck. So this match I knew off the bat was going to be kind of tricky. So first thing first, before I play a monster, I wanted to see what card I drew. Then play Circle, Initiate on the right lane. Get the transformation. If you guys are wondering why I powered up the guy reward, it's plain and simple reason, man. I figured the ward creature was going to stay alive the longest. Like, my opponent was going to take out, yeah, the werewolves. Once they see the werewolves, they start focusing on the werewolves and keep forgetting about the regular card, or just don't think they're as important. They get to keep certain creatures alive longer. So Solitaire, play that. Yes, I could have played Whiterun Protector. I definitely do know that. A lot of people would have been like, oh, that's an obvious play, right?
Confound you!
No. You need to not make your opponent have creatures. You need to realize what deck you're playing. On a deck like this, I realized my opponent uses stuff like Piercing Javelin. Now, if he wants to protect his guard, power up creature, he's gonna either have to Piercing Javelin my creature, or I'll just take it as a loss. So he's gonna kill my wolf on the left side. And I knew the little wolf was gonna die one way or another, but he did it the way I wanted to. He killed his own creature right there. Now I got Shieldbreaker in my hand, and I still got to keep the 4/2. All this time, that 4/2 has not been lost.
Care to join me on the hunt?
Now, once again, you guys might be wondering, why didn't I put Whiterun? Whiterun was not the correct play. I do not need to guard. At this point, unless he uses a support to power them up like Divine Favor, they're not that dangerous.
Now the hunt really begins.
And if he plays the support, which I expected him to do, at least that's an expected move. An expected move is more important to me than a non-expected move. And now, even if he played Divine Favor to kill my 4/5, remember it was a 4/2 with ward, then became a 4/2 with no ward, then became a 4/5. Really freaking annoying. And then he finally had to take it out with his support, which was surely annoying for him. And he did a pretty cool combo. He was able to draw a bunch of cards right there, and now he starts attacking face. Still expecting Divine Favor, but I think he did the smarter move the way he played it right there, guys. So here we go.
The spirit of his Grimoire goes with us.
And this is where I like to play the numbers game. If he has a lot of creatures, I should have a lot of creatures as well. I didn't feel like I needed any more cards in my hand, so I went to use a rapid shot to take care of the guy in the left lane. What I was personally afraid of in this match was stuff like the Shackle card, Imprison, where if you have 4 or more willpower creatures on the field, it instantly destroys a creature. Instead of that, he uses a Piercing Javelin, which I've been predicting he had this whole time. Here comes Anklesnapper.
Into the breach.
Sorry about that. Still tiny bit sick, guys. Sorry. This video is getting long, so apologize. So Shield-Breaker, get the 7/4, big powerful creature. I do not attack the creatures. This deck definitely plays to face. I don't even guard myself against those creatures. I want to keep my creatures alive, or force my opponent to play removals. If he plays a Piercing Javelin to kill it, that works out for me. If he plays the guard to stop me from attacking him with it, it works out for me as well. So I want to try to predict what my opponent are going to do, or force my opponent to do moves that I could predict. See, like a situation like this, he could have Piercing Javelin the left side, or Piercing Javelin the 7/4, or use the creatures to kill the 7/4, then put a guard down there. Right here.
I hear and obey.
You guys should already
You won't
know
escape
how this is
alive.
going to end.
Acknowledge.
So it looks like he's in a pretty good position.
Into the breach.
He's confident enough that he could actually, well, he probably shouldn't be because he saw me use Shieldbreaker at last turn, and you guys already know what's coming. Shieldbreaker. Look at this awesome animation. It's amazing. 8/8 regenerate for the win.
A fine
A
battle.
really powerful card you wouldn't have this early while playing Legends normally. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very extended look at this werewolf deck. A lot of discussion, a lot of talk about the deck. I hope all that was to you guys' liking. Let's get back into Legends itself and talk about those little pro tips. Some ways to get soul gems and stuff like that. So alright, so you've been playing Legends for a few days. You just started out, or maybe even a month now. You're leveling up, slowly but surely. There are a whole lot of cards in this game. And you're playing the game early and you want to focus somewhere. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is, early game you need to focus. You need to focus on 1 to 2 decks that you want to actually have enough soul summoning gems to actually go ahead and make. And here are just some general tips. Some of them will be very obvious to long-time players, some of them won't. To new players. Off the bat, practice. A lot of people underutilize this. Early game, novice, adept, expert. Play expert gives you 15 soul gems per play. 10 for adept, 5 I think it is for novice. Novice is stupid easy. Adept is stupid easy as well. Expert could be stupid hard. Expert's hard for me sometimes. Still, sometimes the expert decks are just like, did the AI just get every good legendary card in the game? Like that. But overall, you could do expert. Sometimes it's easy if you just got the right rush deck to just pump it to 4. But the whole point is you could get 300 soul gems per day by doing this. So every day, if you need some extra soul gems, this is the way to do it. Off the bat. That's really obvious. How about getting packs? Well, nowadays you're going to be able to get packs from quests. They give out these new quests every single day, and like you have to attack 30 creatures, and they give some packs. It gives a goal. There's a really cool thing about that. Legends has really upgraded its quest system. Next thing, that's really obvious. If you're new and you have the 500 goal, which look, if you guys see it, I still need to do this. But the reason I haven't done it is because I'm that idiot that likes Soul Arena. So I like playing Soul Arena even more. And I really highly recommend you guys play Soul Arena if you have the goal available. After you've gone ahead and bought as many of these as you can, buy all of them you can, instead of soul summoning these cards. Once you have actually got all the stuff from this deck, you can go ahead and use your soul gems and go into Soul Arena or Versus if you like it. And you might want to, even if you have like Alduin, you might want to actually go ahead and soul summon this buy this pack anyways, because then you're going to be able to get some of these cards and soul trap them, and that's going to be perfectly good for you. So that works out. You know, you get 50 cards featuring cards from the Skyrim set in Alduin. If you already have a copy of Alduin like I do, that's instantly 400 soul gems you get back. Another way to get soul gem. So this is a way that you could spend 500 and be guaranteed you get a return on investment, even if you already have some of the cards, compared to buying 500 gold worth of packs, which I'm going to recommend that in most situations, unless you really need that one extra pack, you don't do this. What the hell? Glitch! Hey, look at that. Found a glitch in like live in game. Like it won't let me buy the packs. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. That was weird. So I really usually don't recommend you guys buy individual packs. Don't do this. I'll do it on camera just to make a fun video, but because I know I could get more gold. I know I can do it. I usually would, because the return on investment for one pack is usually not that great. It usually is not. Let's see though. Maybe I'll get a full legend pack. Troll, already have it. Wolf Gauge, already have it. Hey, didn't have this, wanted that. I already have it. Okay, you don't always get this lucky. I usually don't get this lucky on camera. I don't usually get this lucky on camera. 2 cards I actually wanted, and the others I don't, and one of them being a legend. When you summon a creature, its power becomes equal to its health. I really actually wanted this card because there's a guard deck I really want to play with this. This is going to really work well for the guard. Monk and endurance deck with guards, like just full of guards, just for lulls. This is new deck coming very soon. Monk, I mean not Monk, willpower and endurance all out freaking guards featuring this card. Yeah. Normally, your return on investment is not that great, but in a sense, if you think about it, right? If you have enough of this, you soul trap this. This is only gonna give you, I think, 100. Yeah, this will give you 100. If you already have 3 of these, like I do, that's 200. If you already have 3 of these, that's 300, right? That's 300 soul gems. Then you get the 50 from this, so that's 400. All of these are 400 soul gems. If you soul trapped all of these, and let's say you keep the legendary because you wanted a legendary, right? Compared to using the 500 gold and buying one of these packs, right? If you already have an Alduin, which I do because I got it from a pack. I mean, I already had it, whatever way I got it. You guys saw it in my other video how I got it. If you soul trap this, you get 400 right away anyways. And then you get a bunch of other cards early game that you might not have. Like, this is tips for early play. Remember, guys, this is for early players. So if you can, that would be a better way to do it. You're not going to get that lucky, guys. Just don't think. That was really... Look at my video where I opened 50 Legend Skyrim packs with cash. And look at what I got from that. That will show you my luck normally when opening packs. I don't get very lucky with legendary packs. It's just how I am. I'll get a lot of epic cards, a lot of rare cards, but when it comes to legends, most legends I've gotten in this game, I have soul summoned myself. Not a complaint at all as well. I expect legends to be rare, but I've seen plenty of video of people opening packs and they get lots of legends all the time. Let's keep going on with the tips. So I talked about quest system. The quest system, every single day you get new quests. Soul Arena is a better return on investment as well. By paying the 150, you will get yourself more packs than, like, if you even get up to, if you get 3 wins in Soul Arena, you'll get a better return on investment than you will from buying 3 packs. It's just usually how it is. You get gold back as well. The return on investment for Soul Arena is insane. Everybody who's new to the game, really, I highly just suggest you play Soul Arena. Especially like how the ranks have been reset. So the ranks have been reset, so it's going to be a lot easier than it once was. I just need to play more of this to get it back down to rank 1. And early Soul Arena, the lower ranks are freaking, like, 9 or stuff like that. It's super easy. It's very easy early game. I actually don't recommend people purchasing, I know, I hate me saying this, like event tickets. Not for Soul Arena. Just not for Soul Arena. If you're gonna ever do event tickets, do it for Chaos Arena if you really enjoy Chaos Arena, or the Gauntlet when that mode comes out monthly. Which, if you guys don't know what Gauntlet or Chaos Arena is, it's a monthly. Well, Chaos Arena is a monthly event where there's really crazy rules for the field lane, and Gauntlet has like a really competitive where you use your own decks to face off against other players, and there's a leaderboard for that. I'll have videos coming over, like going over basically the news on when that comes out. So don't fear, that will be on the channel when that comes. Another just general tip, you have 30-something decks, so it's not like unlimited. You can't make unlimited amount of decks. I actually wish you could. I hope one day they raise a cap. I want to make a zillion different types of decks. And yeah, there you go, guys. That's basically going over everything. The only other thing I'm going to tell you to do as a new player, you guys might hate me for saying this, long-time players, do this. Go into a deck, pick a color. Alright, we're going to pick blue, and we're going to pick endurance. Pick 2 cards. Press done. Let the AI finish a deck for you. If you're a new player, take that stupid deck that you made and go into practice. Practice the game. Don't only practice with your own decks and your own cards. This is something I see a lot of new players kind of struggle with. If you don't play with a lot of different cards, it's really hard to understand them. Yes, facing off against a lot of different strategies is one thing, but you are going to understand it a lot more when you do it yourself. If you have a possibility as well, I do highly recommend people go back and replay the Dark Brotherhood. If you have the expansion, play it back on Master difficulty. When you play through the Dark Brotherhood on Master difficulty, you get soul gems as well. So that's another way to get more soul gems to soul summon creatures. And you get some cool titles. That's another little pro tip. But back on point, like I said, some pro players would probably hate me for saying this. Take this deck, complete random. Don't even look at the deck list. Play it with it. Just play with it. See what you could. See what you could. It will teach you something you might have never thought about trying. I'm still learning here in Legend, and this is me after 6+ months of playing the game. There's always something new to learn with all the new Dark Brotherhood and Skyrim cards here. So that's what I'm gonna tell you guys here. Make a random deck, try it out, and see how this stuff will work together. This is a card I normally would play with. I've only played with this card twice. Is there dragons in this deck? I don't know. Can all this stuff work together? I really don't know. But I definitely could play this in the right lane and hope long enough that I can equip it with this. So, you know, it's things like that you could think about to try to get stuff to work. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Beak here with the Untitled Game Show. Hope you guys liked the video. I will definitely be back with more. Till next time, peace the heck out. Later, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys want to see more of the